Well, it's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the interview with Craig Veltri.
Thank you, Megan Pennington, and welcome to the interview. Duck Downs in the next round is a Nashville based blues trio led by a man in the middle of his own personal renaissance. The native of Mendota, Illinois, has been in and around the Nashville scene for 2 decades, seeing success in bands like Dreaming in English and Kim's Fable. However, over an 8 year span, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, affecting his ability to play guitar, went through a divorce, and the COVID pandemic affected him, like many performing artists' ability to make a living. When he was able to pick up the guitar, it should be no surprise that the blues are what came out. The fruits of his struggles are beautifully displayed on the debut album, A Shot of Wisdom, a bare boned and soul bearing collection of 6 songs that is raw, raucous, desperate, yet hopeful. Having known this man a short while, A Shot of Wisdom really captures his essence perfectly. Cool and with his heart tastefully displayed on his sleeve. Recording in Nashville, Tennessee, and calling in from Nashville, here he is, the king of the East Nashville blues, Doc Downs. Doc, welcome to the interview.
How you doing? How
I'm
you
doing
doing?
very well, thank you. So, your beginnings in those 2 bands that I mentioned, I was able to find some stuff on Kim's Fables, not so much Dreaming in English, but I do know in talking to you that you were primarily their bass player. Is
Yes.
that, but is that to say that the guitar was not, was that the first instrument that you had picked up and learned?
No, no. I my first instrument, fifth grade tuba.
Tuba.
Started off on tuba and played that through high school. And then it wasn't until I did 1 year of college at a little community college in Northern Illinois. Uh, Hated it. Um, but that's when I started learning how to play guitar, and I taught myself thanks to a friend handing me a Mel Bay Teach Yourself How to Play book and said, if I can do it, you can do it.
I didn't have the Teach Myself book, but I did learn out of Mel Bay. That was my
Yeah,
first guitar book. So
yeah. I just got a bunch of Beatles chord books and learned how to play Beatles songs since they were my favorite band, and that taught me how to play guitar.
but knowing the low end and all of that stuff, it's not a surprise that you eventually went on to bass. Was it necessity to learn that stuff? And because you had that tuba background, which is what holds up the low end in most marching bands, all marching bands and orchestras for that matter, was that why it was so easy for you to pick up and be in a band? Or was it
Possibly.
easy?
Possibly. It was pretty easy. The bass, I never planned on playing bass. But after I
If
moved
anybody
here,
who plays bass is honest about it, neither does anybody else playing bass.
when I moved to Nashville, one of my favorite bands, me and the drummer that I moved here with, Jeff Brown, absolutely fantastic drummer, by the way. He and I moved here after working on a cruise ship together up in Maine and working in a couple of different bands out in LA. And moved here to Nashville. One of my favorite bands to go out and see was this great rock band called Dreaming in English. Anytime I saw they were playing in town, I'd go see them play, and they always killed it. So the band that Jeff and I were in broke up, uh, and I was playing rhythm guitar for that band, a band called Room 101 with a couple of buddies from Vanderbilt. Uh, After that band broke up, we saw in the back of the scene, which is where you found people of your like. Back then, there was no internet. Um,
It's what the hangs
back,
are still good for.
yep. Back of the scene, saw that Dreaming in English was looking for a new bass player, a new drummer, and we're adding a rhythm guitar. So I auditioned for rhythm
How
guitar.
fortuitous.
Jeff auditioned for drums. Jeff got hired. I did not.
Hmm.
So they
So how
hired
long
the,
before you did?
well, That was I had auditioned for rhythm guitar at that point, and when Roger, the lead guitarist, came to tell me that they were going with Scott, the other guy that it came down to, um, who's ended up becoming one of my best friends. Uh, he uh, uh, he said, you just never know with this business. 6 months down the line, everything could change, and we may be giving you a call. So. Jeff joins the band. I do other projects on my own, and meanwhile, every time, still, when Dreaming in English plays in town, I go to see him, and now I know Jeff, so I go backstage with him and get to know all the guys and everything. And lo and behold, 6 months later, their bass player decides he wants to go back to his old band. They call me up, say, "Hey, we already know you, we like you. We already know you're a dedicated musician. Would you be interested in playing bass and auditioning for us on bass?" And I said no.
Yet you
I
wound up
said
playing
no.
bass for them. I mean, were they really insistent about getting you in the band just on character alone, and they were willing to grow with you as you grew as a bass player?
No, it was my own brain that went, "What the hell are you doing? You want to learn as many instruments as you can. This is one of your favorite bands. You already know you love the music,
Mhm.
and you already know what the music sounds like, so you got a head start there, and you already know the drummer. You got another head start there. What are you thinking?" So I called
Mhm.
him back, said, "Yeah." Uh, Called up a buddy of mine who was actually filling in on bass for them at the time, and borrowed a rig from him, locked myself in my music room for a month, taught myself how to play bass. Went through three auditions. The first audition, they weren't too sure about it. They were like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know." Second one, I'd come along a little further. They
Mhm.
were like, "Well, I don't know. This is working." And then the last rehearsal, I was told this later. The last rehearsal, they'd gone out. He and Tyrone, the lead singer, had gone outside to smoke. Roger and Ty, and they're standing there in silence. And then Roger just says, "We're gonna hire this effer, aren't we?" And Ty said, "Yeah, I think we are." Um, Next thing I know, they come inside. They ask me if I would fill in playing and show at 328, which used to be a fantastic place here to play.
So I've heard people still long for that venue.
It was a good one. Opening up for one of the top bands of the time in Nashville, the Screaming Cheetah Wheelies.
Heard the
So
name.
the house is packed. I've been playing bass for about 6 weeks. I get up there, I don't move. I play my parts, I make my mistakes, just stand in one place, concentrating on playing. Afterwards, Roger finds me in the dark and he's got Ty with him, and Ty's standing behind him like this. And Roger starts going off on me, man. He's like, "Where the hell were you on Where's the Sun, man? What happened on Girl? What the heck happened out there?" And I'm just trying to find any words to come up with. I'm like, just trying to think of anything to say. He puts his arm around me and says, "You can stop worrying. You got the job." Ty,
That
Ty, Ty was just standing there trying not to laugh. Yeah,
heartbreaking if it went the other way. But
yeah,
this really good, it does establish, just kind of the work ethic that you seem to have and what you must have been implementing towards. Because I assume that with a name like Dreaming in English, it sounds absolutely nothing like the stuff you're doing right now as far as the next round is concerned. And maybe I'm
completely
jumping a
different.
little bit ahead in the timeline a little bit, but when you first set to start out writing these kinds of songs, when you really start to get into blues, not hearing Dreaming in English, but having had listened to some of Kim's Fables music, which I would kind of describe as of its time pop rock, 2001 era kind of music with a female singer, kind of Michelle Branch kind of area, more Cranberries than Michelle Branch, I should say. But you come in and you have this really killer, almost Texas sounding blues that you can't help but make the comparison. But as far as just the style, how long are we talking here that you came up and actually became a performance stage ready blues guitarist?
Well, I had sold after I lost my ability to play. I was out of the business for over a decade.
We'll
Got
get
a
back to
day
that in a
job.
minute.
Um, and during the pandemic, I got a wild hair up my ass and thought I'll buy a I'll buy a guitar and just play at home for my own enjoyment. I had no choice. This is the stuff that was coming out of me. I mean, I was listening to a little bit of blues at that point in time, but mainly I was listening to AC/DC. And
You can draw a direct line to Chuck
yeah,
Berry and
oh
then
yeah,
draw it back to
oh yeah,
Albert King and stuff like that.
yep. But I mean, I've got no choice. I didn't set out to start writing blues songs. I wanted to be a rock star. I never had any intention of being a blues man. But sometimes the universe has different plans for you, and when you just let go and let it take over, it sends you in the right direction.
We're here with Doc Downs on the Craig Veltri interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. For more on Scarfire Media, visit us on all of our social media and check out all the great podcasts here on the Scarfire Media Podcast Network, the Cool Brother Podcast, what I lovingly know call the Mothership. Buyer Pit, and thank you for listening to the Craig Veltri interview. So you got the guitar, you'd gotten rid of all your instruments after your MS diagnosis. When did it occur to you that something was wrong?
Uh, my my playing ability started to go downhill near near the end of the Kim's Fable era, and I thought I just wasn't rehearsing enough, so I tried rehearsing more, but it was still going downhill. And the next thing I knew, my playing was it just wasn't on a professional level anymore. So the phone call stopped ringing, and I couldn't blame him because I wouldn't be calling me either with the way I was playing. So it went up in smoke. And by that point, um, you know, you don't know what's happening. Um, and then a few years later, well, not a few, but a couple of years later, after this whole thing started, was driving down the road, and I hadn't been playing for years
How
at
long
this.
ago were we talking here? Just for a time
Oh,
preference.
let's see, that would have been, oh, what year is it now?
2025.
2025. So that would have been around 2000, 2003, 2004, 2005 when the playing ability just went downhill.
Okay.
Um,
So you were driving around mid aughts.
yeah, well, at this point in time, I'm driving down the road. I've already left the music business. I'm managing bars
You're
at this
thinking it's
point.
just the yips or something.
Well, yeah, I had no idea. So I'm bar managing, and I'm starting to realize that I'm not able to keep up as well anymore. And one day my right eye started hurting, and it wasn't like there was something in it or anything. It was like the eyeball was swollen or something, you know?
Hmm.
Uh, didn't think much of it. Just thought maybe my wife at the time had elbowed me in the eye in her sleep or something, or maybe not in her sleep. Uh,
Mm, you never
but
know.
didn't think much of it. But then was driving down the road, driving down Gallatin, and my right eye completely went blurry. I mean, it was like that. It wasn't a gradual thing. I'm just driving along, and then it was like, what the heck? Uh, my friends encouraged me to go to the doctor the next day. They couldn't figure out what was going on. They sent me to an ophthalmologist. They couldn't figure out what was going on until I happened to mention that the eye would really go crazy getting in and out of the shower. And that clued the ophthalmologist into the heat issue, the temperature change issue that happens with MS quite often. And she was like, I don't want to scare you, but that sounds neurologic. I'm going to send you to a neurologist, and we're going to have him test for MS. So it was another about 3 months. That was about a month of testing with the ophthalmologist, and then another 3 months of testing with the neurologist until finally a spinal tap is what showed the marker for MS, and we
Yeah.
finally knew what I was fighting, which
Hmm.
was bittersweet. You know what you're fighting now, so you know you can fight it, but you're still in the situation, you know?
Hmm. I mean, I think about David Lee Roth's third guitarist, Jason Becker, who got diagnosed with MS and really lost everything really quickly. Managed to finish the A Little Ain't Enough record, and he's now basically paralyzed from his waist down,
Boy, hey,
or for his neck down, actually, I should say. Still makes music. He actually uses the software. We can actually make sheet music with his eyes on
wow.
a computer. So still dedicated, still making music, but really great player. It's a shame. It's a shame that he lost his hands to do it. And again, just to say that it could have been a lost work, a lot worse. But
Yeah, I mean, 'cause to that point, um, the guitarist in Kim's Fable, Chris Tench, he got an MS diagnosis about 2 years after I did.
oh dear.
Um, he he was having trouble walking pretty quick, and he can barely walk now. But he could always play.
Mm.
And in those first years, I was extremely jealous of him.
Why
I
is
could
that?
walk, I could walk, but I couldn't play music anymore. He could still play music, and I was jealous of that. I'd rather be able to play music than walk. I guess that's what it's saying about me.
I'm
I had to
just of mine. I
choose.
hope I never have to make that bargain myself. But
Yeah, I hope not, but I guess if I had to choose, it's music, man. It makes you feel so good playing, you know? I mean, you know.
well, I do know, and I'm just curious. You know how to get out of. You say you know how to fight this thing, and I'm assuming that a lot of the reason that I mean, I one day I'd love the opportunity to speak to somebody like Jason Becker to know for sure. Perhaps the treatment wasn't the way it was. This happened to him like in '91. This is happening to you in 2005
Right.
and onward. So is that a lot of the reason? Just the therapy options that were available to you is how you came out of the other side of it. And was this around the same time that you decided to screw it? I can play, let's see if I can play again.
Uh, what was the first part of that question
The first
again?
part of the question was it just the therapy options that were available to you?
Oh, you know, I got lucky. A lot of people have to go through several different treatments before they find something that works. Uh, I found it on the second one. I started this treatment about, I guess it was about 9, 8 years ago now,
Mhm.
and I haven't had a new lesion since. Um, my neurologist is still a little stumped as to why I can play how I do again, because I gotta be honest, I am a much better player than I used to be. I could not play like this before. I really think it might be one of those situations where the brain damage triggered something else.
Hmm.
And
There is a
because,
theory of the doors of perception when it comes to the mind.
yeah, and I think because music is different for me now, playing music. It When I was a bassist, it was math.
Mhm.
Tell me what the one is, whether it's in major, minor, I can find my way around. It's math. Now it's more like shapes, patterns and colors and auras. Uh, it's really weird. It's really
Well, I
weird.
mean, granted, we are talking about a guy who was on a plethora of psychedelic drugs, but Bold as Love is about those
Yeah,
auras and by Jimi Hendrix.
yeah.
And obviously somebody of that blues discipline. So how when you that's the music that came out is what you say. So and you weren't really listening to that kind of stuff. Is that to say you weren't into blues at any point in your life? Maybe it was just kind of
Oh
developed
no,
subconsciously.
always love the blues. And I think you could hear my main influences with what I was introduced to the blues with in my music. It's I was introduced to the blues in the 80s, you know?
You
Robert
have a
Cray,
trio
Stevie
right
Ray
now.
Vaughan. Yeah.
Stevie Ray is definitely the one that I would reach for.
Yep. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Robert Cray, Jeff Healey, all those guys are the ones that I first started listening to blues with. And they introduced me to the older stuff. And I listened to all of it throughout. I never really played it much. I wanted to play rock and roll. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to play stadiums.
Well, you know what Muddy said.
Yeah.
The blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll.
Yes, it did. Yeah, and it got bigger somehow.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what, it's an absolute joy to play because you're my ex-wife told me because we're friends again now. But she told me that she doesn't always come to the shows because listening to the songs, knowing how many of them are about our breakup,
Mm.
um, hurts her, bothers her. And
Mm.
I was like, how do you think I feel? I'm reliving it every time I play the song. I'm re-feeling those feelings every time I play it, and I'm putting them into the song so that I feel better when I walk away.
Well, we'll talk about the album proper, but since you do bring it up, a lot of the stuff that you songs like "Go Lightly" and songs like "Devil with Angel Eyes" and my favorite on there, "Maybe She Don't," which we'll play at the end of the episode. Obviously, heartbreak and marriages failing are perfect fodder for the blues. So begs the question: you reach for the guitar. This is what's coming out. Is this what was pouring out of you? That anguish, that grief of losing.
Quite possibly, because I was in the depths of it when I started playing again. I mean, it was just it was a little over a year after I moved out of the house and got my own apartment when I started playing again, and it was just a way to try to escape, you know? I mean, I didn't think I'd be any good. I just planned on playing at home by myself. And
Back porch with a cigar on the back porch, just kind
with
of
my pipe, my
yeah,
trusty pipe.
with a pipe, yeah, just playing slide and
Oh,
and
I lost
maybe
my sound.
maybe a small child would come by and then write a song about you 20 years later, like Curtis Lowe or something.
Uh, I had lost my sound there for a moment. Didn't hear that
Oh
last.
no, I was just being somewhat facetious about what life as a guitarist is going to be. That you would turn into like the Battle of Curtis Lowe at some point.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's. I'll tell you what, it's been an absolute, especially this past year, it's been an absolute whirlwind. I never planned on any of this happening. I was not prepared for it. I mean I'm still building, website and all that stuff because I we didn't have any of it
Mhm.
when people started paying attention to the music. Um and I've just been people have been telling me I've been playing better and better, but I've just been feeling better and better. And I honestly think it's a good portion because of the music. Music is healing. When I first started playing, I was on a cane because I had a lot of balance issues and muscle strength issues. I haven't used a cane in 2 years.
Hmm.
It's still in my car just in case, but I haven't used it in 2 years now. And I think a majority of that is because of the music.
The music is the greatest healer. With Here with Doc Downs on the Craig-Veltri interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. For more on Scarfire Media's services, including artist development, demos, social media campaigns, and full-on booking, email scarfireradio@gmail.com for more information. Now,
That's
the
awesome.
album itself, and particularly the personnel of Jimmy Flynn on bass and Nate Fleming on drums, how did you key in on those guys to kind of fill out this almost your East Nashville blues, but it sounds a whole lot like something that comes out of Austin?
Uh, well, once the pandemic lifted, I've got a buddy who's friggin' awesome guy, John Human. He's the most human I know. Uh,
So human, he goes by it.
yeah. He's one of the first people I met when I moved to Nashville in '93. And he had put together a group of buddies and they'd go over to a house and just jam on Sunday afternoons just to play music. Nothing intended, no, they weren't putting together a band or anything. It was just get together and jam. Uh, so I went over there. I'd known a couple of the guys who were there beforehand, but I didn't know this drummer, Nathan. But he was good. He was real good. And so I enjoyed playing with these guys, and I figured, people are digging this music when I'm performing it on stupid little videos online. I should probably try to put together a band and start playing around Nashville. We are in Music City, and I already know people, so
They've
I
never
figured
specified
may as
what kind
well.
of music.
Yeah,
It's heavily
and
implied, but they never specified.
exactly. And I started asking around to all my friends, I'm thinking about booking. Would you be interested in playing a gig or two with me? And had a bunch of friends agree. And so I figured I'll call the band the next round. It rhymes, and you never know what you're going to get. Each time you come see us, you could get something different on the next round. So
Blues and jazz are very improvisational.
yeah.
Is that to say I haven't seen one of your shows, but I assume that a lot of your songs, which are already a couple of them are over the 5 minute mark. I assume you guys stretch to 10 in some of these.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Yeah. I don't understand how people so easily write uh, uh, 3.5 minute songs that have three verses in it and a couple of choruses and a solo. I don't know how they do it. Mine don't
If
work
you
that
want
way.
if that's rhetorical, I'll hope it's rhetorical. But if you want an honest answer, I don't know. That's just how I've always done it. So
I don't know how you do it. It's I always I we tried to pare down our single that we put out, which Me on You, which we remixed and added keys for the album. But on the single, it was just the trio, and I can't remember where I was going with that comment. So
oh,
we'll just.
just as far as the length of song and as far as the jams
Oh
go with it.
yeah, yeah. I mean I let them. I let Nathan try to figure out how to trim it down for the radio because I couldn't pick and choose. In my mind, everything's supposed to be there because
Mm,
that's how it came to me. I don't have a choice. Those are just the songs.
mm. Well,
But so I start going to this and I start booking shows, and they decide they're going to put a band together as well, which they're now called Sharkfoot, and they're fantastic. They play around town doing 70s, 80s, and 90s metal and heavy rock songs from those eras, and they're an absolute air cannons, light shows, lasers, the whole deal. It's an absolute blast to go to it. But so they had started booking shows, and they asked if I'd open for one of them. So I just used them as my band. And after that was at Cobra, and afterwards Nathan had played so well, I was just like, dude, would you be interested in playing with me some more? And he's like, hell yeah. So he ends up becoming my drummer.
You say he's great. Specifically, what do other than the the kind of the more what to leave in, what to leave out aspects as far as the studio is concerned? What do you feel that he is the what is the juice that you needed? Define that.
He's he's got the sensibilities.
Mhm.
He can step back and look at it from the outside while I'm sitting in the middle of it just spinning around, you know? Um, we we have a very, very cool working relationship. Very recently, I saw a behind the th scenes clip from the new Superman movie,
Yeah.
and uh, the lead actor who played Superman and the director were having a disagreement on his final speech that he gives about being a human, and and they kept going back and forth, and it sounds like it's getting heated.
Hmm.
But me knowing how Nathan and I work, I recognized it. They weren't getting heated. They were being assertive with what they were trying to say and trying to make sure they were saying it in a way that someone else could understand it.
Hmm.
And they found that spot in the middle
Hmm.
where, okay, I get what you're saying. That makes sense. And okay, I get what you're saying. That makes sense. And it works. Uh, and that's how Nathan and I work.
Is Jimmy
Uh,
Flynn on bass similar in that aspect?
Jimmy, Jimmy is better than he knows. I, we sometimes have to push him to let go. He's such a stickler for getting it right that sometimes he'll forego something he feels for something he knows is going to work.
If
And
you
so
could
we'll
get it
put,
right, man, you wouldn't be singing the blues.
hmm. But yeah, so sometimes Nathan and I have been like, just play whatever the hell comes out of your head, man.
Yeah.
And have gotten some of that amazing bass work on Maybe She Don't was
Mm.
one of those situations where we were like, don't, yeah, that works. It works great. It's solid. It's perfect. But just have fun with it and see what you get out of it. And this great stuff came out.
That's why
Uh,
I love that song. I mean, just how it almost has kind of a Freddie King kind of bounce
hmm
to it. Just the way it just moves up and down the fretboard on
Oh,
both
that's a compliment.
instruments. So
I don't know if Freddie would be too happy with that. He's probably spinning in his grave having me
ah,
compared to him.
nonsense. Hey, yeah, I think every blues player really only goes back to the grades. So it's just like
Yeah.
for him, I think it'd be one more notch in the guitar case for him. So as far as this, so obviously you're touring around East Nashville and all the neighborhoods surrounding. The record is out. Obviously, you mentioned the building of the website. What does further promotion look like? How far are you looking to take this? Like out of Nashville, touring worldwide?
I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't I mean I'm just
To quote Keith Ledger's Joker, do I look like somebody who has a plan?
right, right. I I my focus, and it seems to have worked out pretty well for me so far, is the same focus that I ask of my band. I ask two things of them. Play for the song. If you listen to the song, it'll tell you what it wants,
Mm.
and have fun. Because if you're not having fun, why are you doing it? And your best stuff isn't going to come out of you if you're not having fun. Um, and so that's pretty much what I've been focusing on is having fun and getting the songs right. And the rest of it has pretty much been just trying to make some money for the guys because I think they deserve it. I am the luckiest blues player in Nashville. I don't know any other blues player, uh, except for maybe Patrick Sweeney, um, in town that has a band. Every other bass player blues player I know has to hire his band or her band for their gigs.
Yeah.
And I've got mine. They 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 don't expect pay. They don't I mean they're there because they want to be playing the music. Our most recent addition to the band, because we're a quartet now. I
Oh,
don't, did you
really?
know that? Yep.
I did not know this. I just knew from the record and from what I saw from the last videos from Drifters. Who's the new guy?
Mike Mako. Mike Mako is an absolutely
Better get Mako.
fantastic. Uh-huh. He's fantastic. Used to play with some of the country greats. I mean, greats. I'd go off the name, go through the names for you, but I don't know if he wants me to tell everybody who he used to play for. But
Mm,
they're
I found most of the guys that I play with don't mind the credentials. So,
well, let's just say one of them used to get in trouble for driving his tractor to go get his
oh
alcohol.
heavens, okay.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
a former possum head. Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So Mike, I met Mike at a blues jam and got to jam with him a couple of times at blues jams. And I was just excited when people would ask me if I would play at their places. So the Madison Lodge uh, asked us to play there, and I immediately said, "Yeah, of course, yeah." I didn't find out till later that it was a 4 hour gig.
That
I don't have 4 hours of material.
would be a nice detail.
I knew Mike knew a lot of songs, and I could throw solos to him and stretch out songs and add a few of his songs to the list and get it to 4 hours. After that, he said, I had so much fun. I just wanted to play some more with you guys. So at the end of the show, he's like, when's the next show? I was like, well, we're playing at Drifters in a couple of weeks. If you want to play, you're completely welcome. And he showed up to that one, showed up to the next one. So it was like, well, we got a keyboardist. So he's an official member of the band now. He's and I mean that's pretty much how I got my guys. That it was the music that attracted them.
Well, as
And
far as I mean, we already got this one record in the can, A Shot of Wisdom, and already almost ahead of Stevie Ray Vaughan's schedule. He didn't have keys on his record until his fourth record. There's obviously going to be a second record out of this band, it sounds like. How soon are you guys going back in the studio?
we we'll probably be going back into the studio within the first 6 months of the next year.
Cool.
I mean, we got a bunch of songs that we're itching to dig into in the studio. So yeah, more's coming.
By the way, I referenced Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm just noticing that lovely portrait of him, the poster behind him for our viewing audience.
You
Uh, we
betcha.
have an we have a and the thing I'll say about this current record, the hope I think comes out of the fun of it, and I think you really captured a lot of what you guys can do. And we have a fun way of closing here on the Craig Veltri interview, a nice way anyway, called the No Kidding Questionnaire. A couple of rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to your mind whenever you're ready, and
All
away
right.
we go. Childhood celebrity crush.
Oh, why can't I think of her name off the top of my head? She, bass player. She played Pinky Tuscadero's little sister on Happy Days. Why can't I think of her name? She's a
Hmm.
fantastic bass player. Quattro, Stacy Quattro.
I'm familiar with Stacey Q, but Stacey Quattro does not compute. What was it about her? Just the fact she played, or she was
Oh, she
cute?
was just yeah, she was cute. She was cool as hell. I mean, and she could handle the Fonz. I mean, Fonz was just her big sister's boyfriend, and he didn't have any effect on her.
Too cool for the Fonz, man.
Oh yeah,
So,
and she's still playing. She's still out there playing.
hmm. I think that I'm going to begin this as a follow-up question for any time I ask this. But do you think that developed a type for you? Did you find yourself dating women that were like her in your life?
Not at all. I've never dated anyone like her. Never.
Moving on with the questionnaire, what was your favorite subject in school?
Ooh. Probably English because I got to read a lot and I loved reading.
Do you have a book that you continue to go back to, like reread it several times over?
Well, unfortunately, I don't read much anymore. It's the MS affected my cognitive short term, and reading is very difficult now. I have to read a line over and over before it sticks in my head. So
That's
that
just
kind
my
of ruins
ADHD.
novel
Yeah.
reading.
So,
Yeah.
so is it books on tape for you now? That's how I usually do reading.
If I'm going to, yep. I'm usually playing though.
That's a better way, more productive way of time. I can see that. What occupation other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh. Man, gunslinger, I guess.
Gunslinger. Like,
Yeah.
are we talking like go back in time and just be a bounty hunter or sheriff of some kind?
Yeah, probably the Old West. I mean, I'm a I'm a little bit of an enthusiast with it. I have, if I can get it out, I have my replicas.
Oh my. Oh, and you do all the
Yeah.
tricks and the spins. That's impressive.
Yeah, I spit them. Oh, lost my sound again.
Oh no, you didn't. I can hear you just fine. So, like of all those old west kind of guys, do you have a particular affection for any one of them in particular
Well, Clint was the king, let's be honest.
as far as western stars? But yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Clint was the king. Everyone goes back to John Wayne, but John Wayne,
John Wayne was a phony.
I
I'll say
I
that out loud.
was never a fan. I couldn't I don't think he could act his way out of a paper bag. Uh but Clint with that look he had, and then of course with the sun in his eyes and that horrible tasting cigarillo in his mouth is what gave him that look on his face.
And surprising range for somebody that was just the model of stoicism. I mean, eventually, basically, Harry was basically all of his Western characters in a suit and better
Yep.
dialogue, might I add. But you get into some of the Unforgiven was a return to form for it,
Fantastic.
but
Fantastic one.
Million Dollar Baby and kind of those in his later paternal roles, Gran Torino.
Gran
That
Torino is fantastic.
so, but and just this and the range that he chose as far as his direction, I mean, you can't say any of that about John Wayne. Granted, I think Clint outlived him by about 20 years, but still, it's there's no comparison as far as the Western Star. No doubt he's the king. I completely agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. He's my favorite.
On the other side of the coin, what job, I don't care how many bags of money are handed to you, Doc Downs, would you never want to attempt?
Ooh, boy. Well, I'll tell you what, I would hate to be a lawyer. That would
Mm.
be a nightmare. That would be an absolute nightmare.
Tom Hanks, who never was a lawyer, but he won an Oscar for being one. He gave a similar answer. This is actually a question lifted from the Pivo questionnaire that James Limpton used to ask on
Oh
Inside the
yeah,
Actors Studio,
yeah.
and he answered lawyer because he said it's just doing homework every day. Not appealing to me. Glad I
That's
never went through
perfect.
with it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean,
by the way,
I'm not a thinker. I'm a doer. You know.
yeah, you aren't a lawyer, but your name is Doc. I must ask, is that you don't have to tell us what your real name is, but is Doc Down your real names? If not, why do you refer to yourself as Doc Downs?
D David Otto Campbell Downs, DOC Downs.
Hmm. So, is that a all of family names, or is that how?
Uh, my mother, highly religious woman. She was wonderful. Uh, Born to be a mother ever since she was a kid. she knew that when she grew up, if she had a son, she was going to name him David after King David out of the Bible.
Ah,
So that's where that comes from. Otto was my dad's name. Campbell is my mother's maiden name.
so all family names. So
Yep.
the Lord, your father, and her. So
Yep. Yep.
it's quite an amount. So I would love, but you don't initialize it. Is it just
I
easier?
used to. I used to. When I first started performing when I was 19, going out on the road with this young band, when I was doing autographs, instead of signing out my whole name, I'd sign it D period, O period, C period Downs. And the other people I was working with started calling me Doc jokingly, and it stuck. So I just started signing my name that way. I mean, my ex-wife called me Doc throughout our entire relationship.
It's fitting. I'll give you that. What is you talked about your time on the West Coast briefly. You talked about how you've gotten around the country. What is your go-to food on the road trip?
Ooh. They don't go together well, so I don't usually do them at the same time. But on the savory side, beef jerky. You can't beat beef jerky.
Popular one.
Everyone else in the van hates that you're eating it because it's smelly. But
Hmm.
I mean,
I
it's
can't get
tasty.
past the smell. That's why I don't usually eat
Oh, love it. I've got some right here, to be honest. Uh,
it.
and Twinkies.
Mm. Oh man, that must really add some smell confusion into any vans you've been in. Ah, yeah, yeah.
No, I don't eat either like I used to, like I was young. In my 20s, I could eat a box of Twinkies in one sitting.
Hmm. If I'm going for the snack foods, if it's any kind of vanilla type cake, it's Little Debbie's all the way. But
Ah,
if it's the Hostess stuff, give me a ho ho, give me a ding dong, man. Those are they for whatever reason the chocolate is so good I don't even bother with the sponge. So, but to it's just preference. I wouldn't turn it down if offered. Um, well, speaking of food, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Lennon,
Mm,
John Lennon,
John Lennon, yeah. Okay,
John Lennon.
so I'm glad you bring up the Beatles once again because we had a pretty spirited conversation about the Beatles at Drifters a couple of weeks ago. What was it about John Lennon that really captured you? And you even, I think, even said outright, he is your favorite Beatle. Why?
He, the way he writes, I mean, it was, he didn't tell you a story. He gave you images and let you come up with the story behind it. Paul, perfect example of the difference between the way those two write. They both had the same idea in their heads when they wrote these two songs. Childhoods, their childhoods growing up in Liverpool. So from Paul, you get storytelling, light, poppy, happy sounding. In Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs. I mean, how tells you a story. You're picturing it in your mind as he's
Take a
telling
walk
you
with
what's
me.
happening. Yeah. John, you get, hmm, let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to
Probably my favorite song of
Strawberry
his
Fields.
from the Beatles era.
Complete imagery gives, obviously, it's a place that made him feel good. You can hear it in the care that he's singing it. But man, it's just imagery. It's and ideas and thought processes, you know? I mean, living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. I mean,
I
that's the beauty of being a child.
it's where I always interpreted that as finding center in a world that doesn't make any sense or is making less and less sense. Living it, yeah, and trying to find that center in the places that are becoming less sensical to you as you grow up. Comparing that to Penny Lane, that's just an image of pure unfiltered nostalgia. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that's true that John never told a story. I think the best
Well,
song,
I
or at
mean,
least, I mean, Norwegian Wood. He pretty much gives you the
yes,
beginning, the middle,
yes,
and the end where he burns furniture in a bathtub. So,
yeah.
so
Yeah, but I mean, he gives you more imagery, you know?
absolutely.
Paul, well, that was a perfect example. You
The
got
music is where you
something.
got the feeling
Yeah,
out of Paul with
yeah,
everything was emotion when it came to John, I
yep.
think.
That was a perfect example right there because you got something a little different out of Strawberry Fields than I did. But we get the exact same thing from Penny Lane.
Hmm. Yeah. The art is subjective for sure.
And I
Look,
just like this attitude.
oh yeah. I know you've seen this one when he's performing in front of the Queen, no less, or at least had an audience with the Queen. This is like 1963, 1964. He says, "Everybody in the up in front, clap your hands, and everybody in the balcony, rattle your jewelry."
Yep. He left out the F word that he wanted to do.
Moving on with the questionnaire, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, the sound of chewing.
The
I'm one of
sound
those
of
people.
chewing.
I'm one
Mm,
of those people. I can't even stand hearing myself chew.
mm. I or worse, the people who still at the age of past 10 that still can't chew with their mouth closed, even,
Yeah.
I stopped chewing gum, I think, for a lot of this. I don't know, it just kind of hurt my mouth after a while. And, the benefits of it, they don't even make whitening gum anymore. So it's hardly even worth doing that. And the sound. So, yeah, agreed. Last question of the questionnaire. What is the best advice that anyone has ever given you?
Mm. You know what? Can I give you the worst advice someone had ever given me?
If there's value to it on the opposite of it, go ahead.
This is a very, very well-known guitarist that I used to get to spend a lot of time with and chatting with. And I was reaching my late 20s at this time, and he literally told me, "Well, if you haven't made it by 30, you shouldn't even work anymore." Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope not. Otherwise, I'm flagrantly wasting my time. My
That was the
God.
worst advice I was ever given because look at this. I mean, this if I would have quit at 30, I would not have this band,
Hmm.
which I think is the best band I've ever been a part of, and it's the most fun I've ever had playing music.
Uh, you learn from that not to give up, but if but on the flip of it, just for the sake of the question, I mean, what was the one thing that directly, the best advice you got?
Oh, geez. Why didn't I think of this? My mom. Um, I grew up very poor. We did not have a lot of money. We still don't. I mean, I rent a room in a house, you know. I don't own a house or anything. I rent a room.
Me too.
Um, and I'm much better off than we ever were growing up. But my mother always told me, don't sell yourself short. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you're gonna land among the stars.
Beautiful sentiment. Almost as good as someone I once heard. Doors closed. There's always a window somewhere. So, well, Doc, this has been a lovely couple of minutes. We got one last piece of business to take care of. It should be your favorite part of the program. It is time for shameless self promotion. A shot of wisdom is available now. You're playing all over Nashville and hopefully further out. Tell us where we can find you and all your fine products. Plug your pluggables. Fire away.
Oh, no, no products yet, but merch is coming. That's one of those things we don't have anything of yet. We're also going to be having some vinyl of the record come out
Nice.
early next year. We are at Drifters in Five Points this coming Saturday, um, and then the 26th, I think, again of this month.
So the 5th and 26th of December.
Yeah, at Drifters, and we've got some shows coming up as well. Just hop on either our Facebook page. You can find us at Doc Downs in the Next Round, or Instagram, or the website, which I'm getting better at keeping up with. But I was not wise when I made the website, so I'm not going to try to tell you what the URL is. Just Google Doc Downs in the Next Round, and it'll take you to that.
I'll be happy to let me get announcer voice on for this one here. If you do want to visit Doc Downs' website, please go ahead and visit it at ddatnrblues.com. It's Doc Downs and the Next Round initialized. That's
Yep.
ddatnrblues.com. And Doc, wherever you can be found, I hope you're playing your damned heart out, man. And it's been great to see you do just that. Get to know you, get to know your music. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the Craig Veltri interview.
Thanks for having me. It's been great getting to know you too.
The Craig Veltri interview, where Craig Veltri interviews wonderful people, is a production of Scarfire Media, the voice of the independent artist, written and edited by Craig Veltri. Your announcer is Megan Pennington. The new single Saving Up Dreams is available now. Quick update on the Moonshine Vagabonds record, Inside the Cabin. We are beginning tracking this week at my dear friend Dallas Jack's studio over in Brentwood, and we are looking forward to tracking that. We'll give you more updates, of course, as the thing goes along, but we are on track and on schedule to begin recording Moonshine Vagabonds' debut record, Inside the Cabin. Tentative schedule for Valentine's Day 2026. Time now to update the event calendar, because you must know where I am at all times. Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th of December, Craig Veltri and the Vagabonds at Tin Roof, Memphis from 10:30 p.m. to close. Then on Thursday, December the 11th, it'll be just me and myself and my songs at the Get Up Writers Round at the Jackalope Brewing Company in Nashville, Tennessee from 7 p.m. to whenever. Try this again. 3, 2, 1. The Craig Veltri interview, where Craig Veltri interviews wonderful people. It's a production of Scarfire Media, the voice of the independent artist. Written and edited by Craig Veltri. Your announcer is Megan Pennington. The opening theme, Shut Up, I Love You, written by Trenton Chandler and Craig Veltri. Performed by Craig Veltri. Produced by Jack Gavin. Megan Pennington and I are looking forward to cutting the Moonshine Vagabonds' first record, called Inside the Cabin. We begin tracking on it this very week, and we look forward to giving you further updates and maybe even a little further taste of stuff that we did inside the studio. But over the next month, Megan and I will be working on bringing you Inside the Cabin with a tentative release date of Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026. Speaking of dates you need to keep your eye on, time now to update the event calendar, because you must know where I am at all times. Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th of December, I will be playing full band with Craig Veltri and the Vagabonds at Tin Roof, Memphis from 10:30 to close. Then on Thursday, December the 11th, I will be involved in the Get Up Writers Round at Jackalope Brewing Company in Nashville, Tennessee at 7 p.m. For full dates, including Pittsburgh, Canton, Ohio, Nashville, and Memphis, visit my website, craig-veltri.bandzoogle.com. For booking info, including full band in this podcast, email me at craig-veltri-official@gmail.com. You can find the interview on Facebook by searching the Craig Veltri interview, YouTube at Craig Veltri Music, and you can find me on Instagram, or as my old roommate, the Tommy Thomas, used to call it, Instagirl, at craig.veltri. He did not go like this when he said it. With many thanks to Doc Downs, I'm Craig Veltri, and this has been the Craig Veltri interview with That I'll Pass. Off of their debut record, A Shot of Wisdom, here's Doc Downs and the Next Round with Maybe She Don't on the Craig Veltri interview. Proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network.
She she don't care. She tells me that she needs me. She needs me. Tells me that she needs me. But what am I for? Something in her bleeds me with a vampire's need. Yes, something in her bleeds me, and it's taking more. And she don't understand what I need. Maybe she don't care. She loves me. Oh, she loves me. Tells me that she loves me, but I ain't so sure. When she says she loves me,